College Game Day, live from Tallahassee, is brought to you in high definition by Vizio.
First sellout at Doak Campbell Stadium since Oklahoma's visit last September. And it looked different back in the day. There was a 55-game unbeaten streak for the Noles that ended in 2001. Under Jimbo Fisher, they tried to restore that fear factor for the visitors. They've lost 3 in the last 2 years. Of course, major chance tonight, Tom, for Fisher to show that the ship is on course. It's a big piece of the puzzle, but it's just a part of what he lives with.
No question, Chris. When you go back before the 2011 season, so much seemed perfect in Jimbo Fisher's life. He had a team that was ranked in the preseason top 5. He essentially had his dream job. His family was happy and healthy living here in Tallahassee. And then a disease the family and most of the country has never heard of entered the Fishers' lives. And it has changed everything since.
If one of our children had to be affected by something so difficult to battle, he has the spirit to deal with something like this. He has a will to fight.
What's your name? Ethan.
Like so many others, Ethan Fisher comes to Doak Campbell Stadium on fall Saturdays to see his beloved Seminoles, the team his dad coaches, as they fight, compete, win. But it's Ethan's fight, an invisible and mortal one that plays out inside his body every day. What's your fear?
That I don't do enough to help save my son.
Hey, Dad. Dance. Hey.
Through his early childhood, Ethan Fisher grew up a happy, healthy boy. The first signs of change came in December 2010 with a simple flu. After several rounds of blood tests revealed a low platelet count, a doctor suggested Ethan might have Fanconi anemia, an incredibly rare and irreversible blood disorder. 3 months later, the doctor called with the news.
He said it was positive for Fanconi anemia. And, you know, the day that he tested him for it, I came home and I Googled it, and from our perspective, it was a death sentence.
I can remember telling him, it's okay, we're gonna be okay. And he just looked and smiled because he didn't realize what was going on. Tough day.
7 years old, outgoing and athletic, Ethan shows no signs of Fanconi anemia, or FA, now. But in time, the disease causes bone marrow failure, requiring a transplant. And beyond that, it often triggers cancers and other life-threatening complications. Right now, there is no cure.
And the thing about it is, it never leaves you. Even after he has the bone marrow transplant, he still has the disease.
The life expectancy for FA right now is about 25 years old. They face so many health issues that if the bone marrow transplant doesn't take their life, then a cancer probably will later on.
The months before the 2011 season tested Jimbo Fisher in ways unlike any other, as he worked to find a balance between being present for his son and being the leader of the Florida State program.
Leaving him, I felt guilty. But then you feel guilty because you're not getting your team ready to play and you're making sure you're doing all your time. The job that I have, you know, I have a responsibility, and the world doesn't stop for sickness. I've got a job to do, and maybe my contribution is doing a good job at my job so we can bring awareness to this disease.
Before last season, the Fishers created the Kids First Fund, devoted to finding a cure for Fanconi anemia. Jimbo has brought a coach's intensity and language to the mission.
That's the opponent. That's the way I looked at it, all right? You got the best players right now. You've got the odds. You've got everything that's going on. But you're not beating me.
As Ethan plays with older brother Trey or follows the Seminoles through the season, he continues his fight. Getting his blood checked every 3 months, having his marrow taken once a year. Through it all, he lives with the innocence and wonder of a child, a living lesson for his family.
He knows when there's a moment that I need him to just hug my neck. I think he's teaching us a lot more than we're teaching him right now.
Teach you how to live life and to be fearless and to attack things every day and to enjoy them every day. He may be stronger than both of us.
Through their work, through the Kids First Fund, the Fishers have already made an incredible difference. They've raised more than $500,000 for research toward a cure and signed up more than 1,700 new names for people willing to become bone marrow donors for those in need. As for Ethan, it's impossible to say when he might need a bone marrow transplant. Nobody in the Fisher family is eligible to be that donor right now. But as Candy Fisher says, you have to believe your child can beat this. And we as a family do. College Game Day from Tallahassee will return after these messages.